Thanks for checking in to the State of Basketball Podcast, episode 30. I'm Adam Miller, and I'm here with Jaren Wilt each and every week. We're going to be bringing you the news and notes on all 11 Division I schools in the state of Indiana because in 49 states,
It's just basketball.
we've got an interesting episode ahead of us, Jaren. If you're watching or listening, I guess you've seen the title, so you're probably wondering what in the world does that mean? We're going to be drafting teams. It's not like they're not like our, all state of basketball teams or anything. We just decided it would be fun exercise to kind of like, I'm going to draft a team, you're going to draft a team,
Yep.
kind of see how they stack up. Um, we're going to do one player per team. So I'm going to pick one person from all 11 teams. You're going to pick one person from all 11 teams. So we're going to have an 11-man roster.
No repeats, right?
No repeats.
So if you draft someone, I cannot draft them.
Yep. So,
Okay.
can't draft someone to the, two different teams, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I just wanted. I knew that we were on the same
Mhm.
page about that, but I just wanted to make that clear for our viewers and our listeners that there will be no repeat teams for each of us, but also no repeat players.
Yeah. Um, it was, it was fun kind of coming up with a big board on like thinking about like how these players would play together. Thinking, is my team going to be good offensively or is it going to be good defensively? And I put probably way too much thought into it, but I don't know. I thought I did a pretty good job of picking up my big board. Now, hopefully, you don't go steal everyone that I want.
Are we? Are we doing a snake draft situation, or is it just
We'll just go back and
back and
forth.
forth?
We're not gonna do like
Yeah.
one and then two and then one. Yeah, we'll just go back and forth. So you'll pick, or I pick, you pick, whatever, until we get through all 11. I mean, there will probably be a couple of people stolen from each other's list, but I hope you've got backups ready to go.
Hope you have backups,
I
dog.
have a couple of
I'm
backups
golden.
ready.
I'm golden.
All right.
How are we gonna decide who goes first? Want me to ask Siri
Um,
flip a coin?
no, I'll let you go first. I'll be
Okay.
real. I'll let you go first.
Okay. Okay. Well, round one, pick one. I'm taking the boy Marcus Burton from Notre Dame.
Okay. Why'd you start with Marcus Burton?
Because he's been a dude that I've liked since this before the season even started. He just has he's a 3 level scorer. He controls the offense. He runs the offense. It all goes through him. He's a sneaky grab. I think. Like I didn't know if you were even gonna try and get him, but like that's the dude that I want running the point. That's the
Mhm.
dude that I want in crunch time, leading the team to a win.
What's interesting is like he was not on my big board because I was like, when you're looking at these teams, you're like, okay, there's like one obvious choice for most teams, right? And you're like, are they going to go for him? Where do I have them? Like, where is this team in my draft order? Will they be available? He was not on my big board, and I am going to go with the first pick. I have a theme for most of mine, and that
Okay.
is get buckets. So I need someone at the two guard spot who can get buckets. So my first pick, I'm gonna take Jalen Counter from IUPUI. I need
Okay.
a dude who can just come out
Okay.
there, bring energy, get buckets, and Jalen Counter is gonna be that guy for me.
A dude was not even on my big board either. Look at us. Look at us. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
All right.
Two-time National Player of the Year doesn't go first in the draft. What is this?
All right. With my second pick, I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of with you on the getting bucket side of things, but I want a little bit of defense, a little bit of down and dirty. I'm gonna go Julian Larry,
Good. You
a dude that
picking
just
your guards first?
oh yeah, oh yeah. I don't. I Here's the thing. It's like everyone I need, everyone I want, they're gonna be there. They're gonna be there. So I'm confident in getting these big, uh, these starting guards just out of the way,
Mhm.
get him picked, get him solidified.
It all starts with them, I guess. So you're picking Julian Larry from Indiana State
Yep.
for the people who can't remember where they played. Um, okay. I thought about taking Julian Larry. My point guards, uh, I considered for a long time on who I was gonna take, but
See, but I'm a little sneaky. I'm gonna let Julian run off ball. I'm gonna let
interesting.
Julian run off ball and just get straight buckets. Don't have to worry
I
about
mean, the
running
way
the
you have
offense.
your guards, you could do it either way.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing. But I was looking strictly Julian Larry playing the two.
Mhm. Okay. I like the pick. I really thought about taking Julian Larry. Um, my second pick, sticking with the theme of getting
Getting
buckets.
buckets.
This dude, the fourth pick here is a walking bucket. He lives at the free throw line. You know him. It's from Southern Indiana, Jeremiah Hernandez. I'm gonna have him out at the 3. He's gonna go out, get to the line, 12 times a game, and again, just get buckets for me. So I'm taking Jeremiah Hernandez from Southern Indiana.
See, that's he was on my big board, right? Like he was one of those guys that if I needed a guard, if you took, Julian Larry or Burton or any of my other guards, like
Mhm.
he was there just kind of waiting in the rafters, like next man up mentality. But I left him off just
Yeah.
because I
I thought about taking like my 3rd guard spot. I was like, I might wanna take someone bigger because he's not super big, but I was like, I'm just gonna run small at the 3 guard and let them ride, let them get their buckets.
all right. Well, with my three, I'm going with a guy a little bit of bigger three. He can play the four as well. But I've got Burton and Larry, who both are going to
Mhm.
just attack the rim, also get open shots all over the place. So you need a guy there waiting for the outlet to just drain the three. I'm taking Mackenzie Mbako.
Oh, Indiana, huh? Interesting. So that's some size. You needed some size
Yep, yep.
at the 3 for sure.
But again, a guy that can play the four. He can slide over,
Mhm.
play a little small ball. That's a theme. A theme with my team. I want to play a lot of four guard sets, and McKenzie's a guy that can play that uh, bigger guard role at the four.
Okay. I like it. I like the pick. I'm gonna go here. Now I'm gonna go down to my 5 spot. So my
Okay.
3rd pick, I'm gonna pick my 5, and I want someone who can stretch the floor. I want someone who can play with energy. I want someone who can hit some shots. I am gonna be picking uh from Ball State. I'll be picking
You dog.
Bashir Jihad.
Quite literally was my
I'm
next
taking
pick.
Bashir. I think he was your next pick?
He was literally my next pick.
That's awesome. I had him one spot down in my on my big board, and I was like, "I think I just gotta take him now." So I bumped him up. It's like, I wanna see who's available at this other position, so I'm gonna pick him at the 5. So right now, I don't have a point guard, I don't have a 4, but I got a 5 who can stretch the floor, and I got 2 scorers. So, I mean, we're gonna be getting just not gonna be incredible defense, but we're gonna be scoring a lot.
Yeah, that puts me in a really tough spot. That puts me in a horrendous spot. Um, I think this is tough. This is real tough. I'm panicking. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um,
Would you still need a 4 and a 5?
yep. So I need a four and a five in the starting lineup. Um, you know what? I'm gonna go Big Coop. Cooper
Okay, out
Sweeter
of Valpo.
out of Valpo. I'm gonna put him. He's gonna run the five.
So,
He's,
quick.
he's yeah. He's a similar profile, I think, to Jihad. and
Yeah,
that's kind of the approach that I wanted to take. You know, guys that can step out, but also guys that can get down and dirty if need be. So the dude just pulls boards down like it's going out of style.
I like it.
So
I had him as an option. He's one that I really deliberated taking at some point, but
I was going to take him regardless.
mhm,
He was going to be my backup, but
yeah.
his name just got called. He's now he's bumped up. He's in the
Next man
starting
up.
lineup. Yeah,
Next man
exactly,
up.
exactly.
All right. So you're sitting. You just need a 4 in your starting lineup, and um, I need a 4 and a 5. See now, now one thing I have to consider as you draft is you've taken guys from schools that I haven't picked from, so I can see clearer now, like where I need to go. It's like on my big board, my next pick was a Valpo guy, but I don't need to worry. Like I don't need to
Yeah,
worry about that anymore.
exactly.
So I'm gonna go at the 4 spot here. Again, you gotta get buckets on this team. If you're here, you gotta
Gosh,
get buckets.
dang
I
it.
need someone who can light it up from 3, who can play inside out. So I'm gonna go down to Evansville, and I'm gonna take Ben Hummerkaus at the 4 spot.
No, he's my round 6 pick. So now I can pick round 5 pretty confidently, but also that really throws a wrench in things.
My,
Um,
my thoughts with this was, like, I wanna take those smaller schools first.
yep,
I wanna get to them.
I hear you.
I wanna
No,
get those guys before you can.
all right. Well, I I need a 4.
Mhm.
I need a guy that can run the 4. But I talked about it a little bit. Mackenzie Mbaka, he can play the 4, right? Like
Okay.
he can do it. We've seen it. So I'm gonna pick up another guard. I'm gonna go DJ Davis, straight bucket getter
DJ Davis from Butler.
from Butler. Yes,
Okay. Lets
DJ
people
Davis from
know.
Butler. I got to remember to say the school because obviously I know because I have it written down in front of me. But
Mhm.
yep, DJ Davis
Yeah, I
from
mean,
Butler.
this is an interesting exercise because, like, Mackenzie Mbako played primarily the 3, but, like, probably fits better as a 4, like,
Yep.
profiles better as a 4. Um, so, that's definitely viable. Like, like, when I was thinking about Jeremiah Hernandez at the 3, I was like, "He's smaller, but, I mean, he'll play there." Like, if he's got the
Yeah.
guys around him, he'll play there and be perfectly happy. Okay. I don't have a point guard yet, and I don't know that I'm ready to take one.
A lot of
Um,
good point guards out there.
I know, I
A
know.
lot of good point
There's
guards out
so
there
many
still.
left. Um, let's see. Hmm. You know what? I'm gonna do it. All right. So again, I need a shooter who can play on and off ball because that's basically my whole theme of this team so far. And who better than the hometown hero out of Purdue Fort Wayne, Jalen Jackson. So he's going to
Okay.
be my next 2 guard. And
Okay.
this one, the not necessarily the guard spot, but just my Purdue Fort Wayne pick. I didn't know if I wanted to go Rasheed Bello or if I wanted to go Jalen Jackson there. I very heavily considered taking Eric Mulder because we're Eric Mulder's biggest fans,
Yep.
but ultimately, I just like the way that his game would fit with all these other guys. My problem with this team is probably gonna be ain't enough ball to go around.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. Well, I still, cause I don't, I've got a starting 5. I've got a starting 5. I've got 5 guys that can do it. I could use a little, you know, more reliability at um, the 4 spot,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna go. a dude that just is an absolute difference maker. We talked about it all season. He's the reason, a certain team made it as far as it was. He was the missing piece.
Okay.
I'm going to go Lance Jones from Purdue.
Interesting.
Just an absolute athletic animal, can get buckets, shot, I think, over 40% from three, like, can attack the rim, he's just a dog out there. He
Where
just
do
got
you
that fight in him.
where do you imagine him playing? The 2, the 3?
Primarily the two or the three, kind of rotating around. Again,
Mhm.
we're going a lot of guards, a lot of guys
Right.
that play 1 through 3, primarily in the two and the three. So uh, I don't see him, being a ball handler. But again, a lot of the guards that I've taken can all be ball handlers. So it's just kind of a mix and match.
This is this is really funny because all of our picks are protected now because I have all the schools that I have left. I have yet to draft someone from Butler, IU, Indiana State, Notre Dame, Purdue, and Valpo, and you've already picked all of those. So
Yep.
there's no more steals, basically. Um, so I guess then I will just ride with what I have here. So this was actually third on my big board here, and I he moved down just because I wanted to get some different picks. Like I wanted to get Jihad and Hummerkaus in there. Um, but I'm gonna go back to Valpo, and I'm gonna take my point guard, and that's gonna be Darius Diavero. Just an absolute assist man. Dude will set anyone up, and he's got all the scoring that he needs around him to just, you know, get 10 assists a game. So I'm going to take Diavero for my point guard out of Valpo.
That's what's up. I am, again, since picks are protected, I I'm sitting pretty. I'm just gonna write it out. I've got
Hmm.
I've got two spots I need to fill. Right, you took Hummerkaus from me. You took Jihad from me.
Uh-huh.
Big, that hurt. That hurt me a lot. Um, but I'm just gonna go with what I already had. Um, I guess no, scratch that. I lied. I'm going Eric Mulder. I'm
Okay.
just gonna take him now. I'm gonna get him. He was one of a few guys I had written down from Purdue Fort Wayne
Uh-huh.
that I wanted. I was gonna take Q. Q was gonna be my backup point guard.
Yeah.
Quentin Morton Robinson for those of you who don't know. Um, but you took my five, right? Like you took my primary five. I was gonna take Big Coop as my backup. So
Hmm.
I'm taking Mulder. I'm
I I like it.
just want a
I
guy that's just
love.
an absolute dog down low and is just going to eat
Yep.
every chance he gets.
And you've got so much scoring around him that he can basically play the way he plays,
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. He doesn't need to score.
Yeah, you don't need him as a scoring option.
Just go up there, pull down every rebound possible.
Set the hardest
Um,
screens known to man.
and
I like it. I'm glad he got picked. Uh, I don't know where to go now. Let's see. What do I have left? Um, so like the way I thought of my team is like I'm just running with like four post players and then what, seven guards is how I thought of it. So I'm gonna take um another post player, and I don't even know what round we're in right now.
seven.
Round seven. He falls to the seventh round, but I'm gonna take him. Again, the whole theme is get buckets. So who got more buckets than this guy this year? I don't think anybody, and that's Zach Edey out of Purdue. So I'm gonna take Zach Edey at center, and he fell to the seventh round, but that's because I felt like he might still be there. So I'm gonna take him. Hopefully, he doesn't fall on draft night for the real draft. So I've got my centers, Zach Edey and Bashir Jihad. 2 completely different guys, 2 completely different play styles.
But you know what? Sometimes that's okay. Sometimes that's okay.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything here.
And I'm
Um,
sorry, Jihad, you just got demoted to 7 minutes a game,
yeah,
something,
see, that's why I couldn't do it because all these guys deserve run, and I
right?
couldn't take a guy that's going to command that much, uh, that many. Not, I
That
guess
much
not command
playtime,
that many minutes,
but,
but
like,
like
deserves it.
right,
Yeah.
right. I want the ball to be spread around while still getting buckets. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a four, a more of a true four, a guy that can just, you know, be a dog, but also still hit the threes. I'm taking Jack Milky from Southern Indiana.
Yes, my guy,
He
Jack
quite literally
Milky.
the only name down I wrote down for Southern Indiana possibilities. I
You just
was
knew.
I was going all in on him.
I, I really thought for a long time on Southern Indiana because I really wanted Jeremiah Hernandez, but I also really wanted AJ Smith because I was like kind of in the same way that like you pick someone like Eric Mulder who just does offer so much and just so much defensively. I was like, I really want to take like I need someone like that.
Yep.
Um, but I ended up going with scoring instead because my next pick for my final four spot, my power forward, if you want to call it that, is someone who's going to offer me those same things. He's going to be able to shoot from three. He's going to pull down every rebound. He's going to play hard for every second that he's in, and that is Jason Kent, my favorite player on Indiana State's team this past year. So I'm picking Jason Kent out of Indiana State for my second four spot.
That's a great pick. That's a great pick. He honestly didn't have him on my draft board. Um,
Hmm.
should have pivoted to him, but again, I'd already taken Julian Larry, so I couldn't,
Yeah,
obviously I'm not handcuffed because Larry is still an excellent pick, but he would have been, you know, my backup four or my second four,
yeah.
or even actually I would have taken him instead of in the Hummerkaus spot when you took Hummerkaus. But
Which now you've got like Avila not picked. He falls. He falls to undrafted
yeah,
because there's only 4 or 5, 4 spots or 5, and we can only pick 2 people from Indiana State. We should have brought more people in to make their picks so that people aren't getting snubbed.
yeah, that's we'll do a
But
we'll do a Twitter poll.
yeah, that's the
We'll
nature of
do
the game.
something.
Biggest snub.
Yeah. Um. Okay. I'm gonna take a guy that flew under the radar last year. I think. Uh, just absolute. You know, did so much. Stat line didn't show it because the team was not great. I'm going Abdu Sam from
Uh-huh.
IUPUI.
Okay.
He's going to run the backup four and just absolutely demolish on the defensive side, getting boards, just living life.
That's what you need out of your 4 spot for this team for sure. Dude, you got some guys who are gonna get you a lot of rebounds down low.
That's the thing is I want a lot of shooting, a lot of boards.
Post those guys down low, grab 'em every rebound, kick it out.
Exactly. See, you understood. You understand where I'm going with things.
I mean, what says Indiana basketball more than getting rebounds and shooting threes?
Not
Um,
much.
where do I wanna go? 3 picks left. I am so I have 3 guard spots left. I've the way I allocate it is I have a 1, a 2, and a 3 left. It is kind of the way I thought of it. Like, I tried to pick people who played those roles, and I think I'm gonna have to go take my point guard. So this would probably be my starting point guard in the, ninth round. Take my starting point guard. Um, Big fan of his all year. From Butler, I'm taking Posh Alexander. I've got 2 lead guards now who are just gonna set people up, and they've got the scoring around them, so I'm gonna take Posh Alexander out of Butler, as my next point guard.
I like it. I like it a lot. Um, just absolute assist giver. He dishes it
Mhm.
out. Excellent court vision. You want to get buckets. He's a guy who's gonna find you buckets, whether it's from him or finding the open guy.
Yeah, I was like, I don't need, a guard who can shoot. Like, I really considered letting Zach Edey go undrafted and taking Braden Smith because I think that that's just a very well-rounded, obviously, great pick. But I was like, I'm gonna take Edey in because I had Posh Alexander waiting in the wings to be picked. I was between Posh and I was between Posh and Pierre Brooks. I decided to go with Posh this time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a uh, a great pick. I did have Pierre Brooks also as a secondary if DJ Davis wasn't there for me.
Mhm.
Um, so this is I'm really debating here because I've got 2 spots left. Right, I haven't picked Ball State. I haven't
Mhm.
picked Evansville. I'm just I'm a little torn. I'm a little torn. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take my backup point guard, a guy I love.
Yep. I know
What?
who it's gonna be.
Jalen Anderson.
Yeah. It's a
Okay.
great pick.
Okay. I'm taking Jalen Anderson, round 10, transferred to Ball State. I'd never heard of him because he was playing for Loyola Marymount. Came into Ball State and just led that team, did incredible things. Absolute energy guy. Like I talked about him several times about how much I loved him and what he brings. I think I compared him to Wes Matthews
Yeah.
at one point. But I'm taking Jalen Anderson from Ball State as my backup point guard.
Ball State was a sneaky hard one for me because I seriously considered 4 people. I seriously considered Anderson, I seriously considered Davion Bailey, I obviously took Jihad, and I seriously considered Mickey Pearson because with my 4s, I was literally thinking, like, I need someone who is going to be a dog,
Yeah,
and I all 4 of them, I was like, I would be happy getting any of these people.
yeah. I mean, I considered 3 of the 4. I didn't have Mickey Pearson just because I thought I was a lock with having my 3 potential 4s being Hummerkaus, Sam, and Milky. So like there's just not a lot of minutes to go around. Like
Yeah,
I'd rather be guard heavy
and you
than
got some dogs already.
yeah. So yeah, I mean Jalen Anderson, he's the one.
Okay, 2 picks left for me. I'm gonna leave the Hoosiers for last. I'm gonna go to Notre Dame here, and I'm gonna go with another shooter. I'm gonna pick my 2 guard, and that's gonna be Braden Shrewsbury.
Great pick.
Uh, I was going to pick him or, Marcus Burton. I figured you were gonna pick Marcus Burton, so I was like, "I'll just pick another point." I will just pencil in Braden Shrewsbury because
Yeah,
I just knew that's what you were gonna do. I was like, You're like his biggest fan."
and I took him 1-1.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to make sure because we both really like Marcus Burton. I just wanted to make sure that like he was a
You had to
guy
get
that
your guy. You had to get your guy.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. The guy that the whole team is built around.
Mhm.
Um, okay, round 11, my 11th pick. I got to go to Evansville, and there's another guy that uh, I loved him since before the season started. The dude's just an absolute heater. Chuck Bailey the third.
Yeah. Oh, a bench pick coming off the bench.
Chuck Bailey the third. He's going to come in off the bench and get absolute buckets for this team. Again, it's just the team's all built around slashing, shooting the three, getting boards down low, setting high screens, pick and rolls, a little bit of pick and pop with Coop. It's this team could win a natty.
These would be some scary teams if we got to assemble teams like this. Got to actually do it. All right, Chuck Bailey. I like that. I like that pick a lot. Someone I think should have gotten probably some starting spots there and is now gone. So we'll miss him. But my final pick, um, going away from the shooting a little bit and just picking a dog who can score, who can defend. So from Indiana, I'm gonna play him at the 3. I'm gonna play him at the 3 primarily, and that's gonna be Trey Galloway.
It's a great pick.
So I'm picking Trey, Indiana guy, just a dog on
He's
both sides
one
of
of
the
three
court.
guys I had on my big board from Indiana. Obviously, I took Mac. Khalil Ware was just there waiting.
Yeah.
Almost pivoted to him, but again, I'd already taken Mac. That's the challenge. I should have gone the route that you did, and picked the smaller schools first
Yeah.
because that's where we had the least overlap,
Yep.
and because Khalil Ware would have been the perfect, swap. You taking Jihad, Khalil Ware being there,
Yeah.
uh, a pretty similar player profile, I'd say. Where, I mean, obviously Ware's a lot different of a player, but similar kind of get boards down low, get buckets at the rim, can pop out when needed.
And yeah, can protect the rim and everything. And
Yep.
yeah, I just like when I was thinking about it, I was like, I don't want to pick like the best overall play. Like I didn't want to start with Zach Edey
Right.
because I was like, who like
I mean,
if I
I
miss
didn't
out
even
on
have
Zach
Zach Edey
Edey,
on my board.
yeah, I was like, if I miss
I
on
was just
Zach
like,
Edey, I can take Ware, I can take Jihad. Like there are other guys that I can take, but I was like, who do I not want to miss on?
yeah,
So that's kind of what my thought process here was like, who do I not want to miss on? And that's why I went with the guy Jalen Counter, no, number 1. All right, so just run us through your team, who you picked from each school real quick before we kind of put a bow on this segment.
yeah. So Ball State, I took Jalen Anderson. Butler was DJ Davis. Chuck Bailey the third from Evansville. Mackenzie Mbako from Indiana. Julian Larry from Indiana State. Abdu Sam from IUPUI, which was, I want to talk about that pick in a second.
Okay.
Marcus Burton from Notre Dame. Lance Jones from Purdue. Eric Mulder, the hardest working man in America from Purdue Fort Wayne. Jack Milkey from Southern Indiana. And Cooper Swieger from Valpo.
Love it. Love the team. My team, so Adam's team was from Ball State, Bashir Jihad. Butler, I had Posh Alexander. From Evansville, I took Ben Humrickhouse. From IU, I took Trey Galloway. From Indiana State, I have Jason Kent. IUPUI, I have Jalen Counter. Notre Dame, I took Braden Shrewsbury. Purdue, I took Zach Edey. Purdue Fort Wayne, I took Jalen Jackson. Southern Indiana, Jeremiah Hernandez. And Valparaiso, I took Darius Diavero. So that's my 11-man roster here. Both great teams.
Yeah, I love them both. Like, I wish that I was good enough with statistics, with metrics,
Uh-huh.
to build some kind of like simulation to like put these two teams side by side.
Make them play in 2K, like build them in 2K. Make them
Right.
play
Like,
each other.
I wish that I had the ability to do that, to run the simulation to see like, okay, they played 100 games, which team would come out
Come
on
on
top.
top.
But so going back, so IUPUI, I really wanted Vincent Brady.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a guy that could just go out there and work at the guard position. You took my initial, my start, the guy I had starting at the 4, and Ben Humrickhouse. So I knew I needed another 4.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, next best thing, Sam is just an absolute animal. It didn't get a whole lot of credit just because he played on IUPUI and they weren't,
Yeah.
the best
Yeah.
team in America.
Yeah.
So
It goes
Uh,
without saying.
not a lot of attention was on him, but he's a guy I really liked, and I was just like, okay, I can't take Brady. I need a four. Go and saw him, but I just wanted to give a shout out to Vincent Brady because he's just a dude that I liked. I had him pretty high on my list of wants.
We need to make this into a graphic. Our teams put them out on Twitter and say who wins, which means I'm springing this on you now, which means we need a coach for our teams.
Ooh, okay.
So it's your pick next. So you can pick any of the 11 coaches. These are obviously the coaches who coached the team last season. Um, so
There's
who are you
only there's
taking?
there's only one option.
Okay.
There's only one option. Micah Shrewsbury.
That's your coach. That's
It's my
that's who I
guy.
was gonna pick, but I was like, he's gonna pick him.
That's my guy. He's with this team, the plays that
Yeah.
Shrews can draw up, the plays that he can run, it's just like chef's kiss. So who
I
you got?
uh I don't blame you for that pick at all. That's one that I was between two people. I was between Shrewsbury and Matt Painter. So I'm gonna go Matt Painter. So we're taking both Purdue guys, basically. Guys
Yeah.
who have coached at Purdue. But
I
especially having Zach Edey, I feel like having Matt Painter kind of helps.
Yep.
You know, he's a guy that helped Zach Edey get to that point. So I'm gonna take his coach too. And
I also think both of these teams would be really well suited with Josh Schertz as the coach. Like
yeah, with the
I
amount of
think that
shooting.
it just they would just be too pure.
Hmm.
The offense he could run, defense on the other side. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
but they forego defense in lieu of in favor of
yeah,
offense.
these both of these teams with a guy like Schertz or Shrews or Painter, 150 points a game.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, it is absurd because like just looking at like my defensive options are like I've got Jason Kent, Trey Galloway, and Zach Edey are like the guys that have to anchor my entire defense.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
I mean, not a bad place to be, but it could definitely be way more defensive minded.
yeah. I've got a lot of defensive intensity, but
Mm-hmm.
like maybe not defensive talent. Um, but I'm okay with that because like if they're just disrupting a lot of active hands, a lot of you know switching. I think is where my team would excel on the defensive
Yeah,
side.
and you got a lot of guys who can go 40. They
Yeah,
can go 40 minutes
yeah. I got some
and
marathon
not
runners
fall
on
off.
here.
Yeah, for sure. Um, this is fun. I'd like to let's let them know and tell them that they're gonna play each other. I'm sure Zach Edey doesn't have anything going on like recently.
Yeah, no, I think his schedule is wide open.
Yeah, Khalil Ware, guy who's probably gonna go highest in the draft, in the state, undrafted in our draft. Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
Uh,
uh just the just the way it goes, man. If we had a third person in here and, I think he gets picked.
this would be impossible
Yeah, it's so many steals. So many
because I
steals.
could I could kind of read your mind and like
Mhm.
know where you're going. Like I knew you were going to try and take Hummerhouse.
Yeah,
I just thought I could get to him quicker.
you're right.
Uh, but
Yeah, if there were 3 people, I would be like I'd have to have extensive notes to
yeah,
to keep track of, like, "Okay, what position do I need?
yeah,
Where am I going?" Because there were some where it was like, I only had, like, a guard. Like, I wanted from this school, like, I wanted a guard. Like, Butler, I was like, "I want a guard."
yep.
So, like, if there were 3 people and my guards got taken, I don't know.
Tell you what, a sneaky Thad Matta would have been a great coach for
Yep,
either of these teams too,
for sure.
because it's the style of offense that he likes to run.
I think those are probably I mean, I think Painter and Shrews are, 1A, 1B options, and then I think probably Thad and Shirts are probably right there in kind of that next tier of who I would pick.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anything else you want to
Um,
talk about?
I gotta I wanna put out, some short form for us on, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. So if you don't follow us there on TikTok, or if you don't follow us on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, we're State of Basketball everywhere, basically.
Twitter,
Just
we are
search
the
it.
state of b-ball.
Yeah, but I mean, if you search the State of Basketball, we will come up. That
But
feels good.
the description, whether you're watching the video on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I believe,
Yep.
uh, the description, there should be links to all of our social media accounts in the description. It's an easy one click to it. Um, if you find one account, we also have a link tree, so that links to all of our other accounts. So if you're not following us
Mhm.
on those platforms, we've made it very easy for you too.
Yeah, so be on the lookout. I'm gonna, hopefully I'll be dropping, something every day or every other day. I want to kind of refresh your mind on what we've done in the off season. So like I'll tell you, like I'm planning on making a video for each school on when we talked about like was it a successful season or not. So kind of just recap our thoughts there, drop that out on some short form. Um, that way it's a little bit more accessible for you. You don't have to parse through a hour and 15-minute podcast to find your school to decide if we
We hit the nail on
bozos
the head. Yeah.
yeah
Yep.
thought your school did well or did not.
If
Um,
we're ball knowers or not.
yeah. But I mean, Indiana stuff. Did you see that? You saw that Terre Haute is going to open their Larry
Larry
Bird
Bird Museum.
Museum.
Yep.
That's pretty sweet.
It's pretty sick.
We gotta
Pretty sick.
we gotta
Well,
get down there. We gotta get down to this basketball Hall of Fame too,
yep.
which are
Once I
good.
get back surgery and can recover from that for a few weeks,
If you
we'll
can
make.
swing a golf club, you can go to the basketball Hall of Fame. That's a saying,
Well,
right?
yeah. I also think that I'm going to be able to go to the Hall of Fame
It
before.
probably works in reverse. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. But I like the optimism from you.
Listen, I just want you out on the links,
I want me out on the links.
Yeah.
But well, the clock is showing quadruple zeros, so it's time for us to get out of here. Thanks for checking in with the State of Basketball podcast. We'll see you next week. And remember, in 49 states,
It's just basketball.